Chapter 14.
The store was not yet open. Open, the store was not yet. The mayor, he scurried. His mind was very set. He would leave her on the doorstep of the little toy store. He didn't want a refund, of that he was sure. He walked up the path, the cobbles so steep. For his pride and reputation he had to keep. So silently he placed her and ran off in haste. There was no time for stopping and no time to waste. For in came the shopkeeper, who was still very sad. Then turning the door, he looked, oh so glad. He picked up the parcel and with tears in his eyes, he opened it up and sobbed with surprise. There she was, the beloved, treasured one. He loved her like you would a daughter or son. She was his creation, perfect, just right. So pulling her from bag, he held her so tight. Throughout the day he stitched and he sewed and stitched all day. Rosie just smiled. She had no words. She had nothing to say. She was home to sit in the window and to smile. For children to come from miles and miles. She was to watch the raindrops on the window pane. She was to see their faces and hear their names. When he had finished in the window she sat, the toys' hearts joyful, yes, even the cat. The light of the store was again to be seen, with her patchwork clothes and her neatly sewn seams.
The shopkeeper hurried out of the store and stood back with tears in his eyes. Sitting in the light window frame, in her chosen place, was Rosie. His heart was filled with utter joy and delight. His special one was home. Unbeknown to him, she had not only been on a physical adventure, but a journey of the heart. She sat not only in a place of security in the window, home again, but in her heart she had found security to know she was perfectly made. She had been made for a purpose, and it did not matter what words had been spoken or would come. If she could see her self-worth, how loved and beautiful she was, just as she was created to be, she would find the peace and the joy she'd longed for. As the shopkeeper yawned a huge yawn, his face crinkled and he rubbed his eyes. He smiled a deep smile from his heart, closed the door for another night, and walked down the cobbled path. As the lights faded, Rosie stretched, and one by one the toys came alive, as if a big gush of wind had blown through the store, knocking the toys off their shelves and lifting them in the air and landing them in a heap on top of Rosie. All the toys rushed to her side, and in a big toy pile, they hugged her, shouting,
Rosie!
Rosie, you gave us quite a scare. Well, not that I thought you couldn't look after yourself. Clearly you have some brains and brawn, and we want to hear all about it.
You're one clever rag doll. Who said you're all stuffing and seams? We have waited so long to breathe the oxygen again. It's been complicated, and our combustion system is much better now we can breathe.
And pass a wind.
Tin Soldier.
Well, Angel Doll, she said combustion system. It was the first thing that popped out of my mouth. Sorry.
Rosie, we're just glad to have you home.
However did you get to come back? Tell us the tale.
A true friend helped me to realize that all I need is just right here.
But Rosie, you wanted something better, no?
This right here, with all of you and the shopkeeper. This is my something better. That Christmas, Raggedy Doll had learnt a lesson that no amount of money could buy. She had learnt that she had been created, not made. She had learnt that numbers, price, or label couldn't define her. What mattered was that she had a purpose and a destiny that had been shaped by the one that loved her. The shopkeeper, seeing the display in the window of the 5 friends, albeit a little bemused as to how they all got there, loved the new display so much, he removed the tags from the 4 toys and every season would change their display to delight those around that had travelled for miles to see the Raggedy Doll and Friends toy store. Rosie would always have the family she loved around her that loved her. Teddy would continue to father all those that came to the toy store each season. Angel Doll remained all year round, even when it wasn't Christmas, and never saw the inside of a box or dusty shelves. Cheddars continued to delight with statistics of the number of raindrops running down the windows and the chances of rain. With her new shop window view on the world, Puppet Doll grew in strength and maturity as she was surrounded by great friends. Tin Soldier, well, he still ribbed Teddy for being the oldest and wisest of all the toys, but in the love and acceptance of the toy shop, time stood still and they never grew old. Created to be toys that are loved and played with, once a week the children from all over the area would come and play with the family of toys in the window. Raggedy Doll had all the hugs and love she could ever imagine as she was set to play tea parties and princesses, with Teddy acting the king in all the children's imaginations.
As seasons passed and children came and went, a familiar face would pass weekly. The mayor's granddaughter with her beloved ballet doll and Holly tucked under her arm. The toys would watch as she was whisked past, hanging from backpacks, pushed in prams all pink and frilly. But something had changed. Where her hair was perfect before, it was now loved and looked as though it had been brushed 1,000 times. Her dress changed every time she passed the shop, and her hands were held by a little girl's hands that were grubby from hours of play.
One morning, as she hung out the backpack, she turned and looked deep into Raggedy Doll's eyes, as much to say, "I'm sorry and thank you." Rosie stretched out her hands and touched the glass, as much to say, "I love you too."
So there our story ends. This is the end of our story. Of one rag doll, made to bring him joy and to bring him lots of glory. Our Father makes us all with a tender and loving hand. Before time began, we were all wanted and planned. We are all different. Nothing is the same. Each perfect and beautiful. He knows you all by name. Each stitch and seam he's worked on, all had a plan. Each was made with beauty and crafted by his hand. There they sit, the toys. The teddy with a grin, the angel doll so beautiful, and the tin man who can sing. The clockwork mouse with a cheeky smile, and a puppet doll to dance. Each was hand-created, nothing left to chance. In the center Rosie stays. She sits and smiles throughout each day. She has found her something better. He brought it all together. For we are his workmanship, created by Christ Jesus to do his works.
Someone I could tell my secrets to, and I would hold you all of the time, just because you're mine. And I could paint your face in a million ways, with cherry lips so that you could taste all the sweet kisses I could put your way, each and every day. 'Cause you are beautifully and wonderfully made. I don't make mistakes and I wouldn't change a thing. I loved you from the day I brought you home. I loved you since the day that you were sewn. Every stitch, every seam of you is just how I dreamed of you. And so I want the whole wide world to know I love you from your head down to your toes. I love you from your head down to your toes. My raggedy doll, whoa, whoa, whoa. My raggedy doll, whoa, whoa. It makes me sad when I hear you say you wish that you were stitched some other way. 'Cause you don't look like the other toys, and you're not new anymore. I wanna take you down from the nursery shelf and show you love till you love yourself. If you lose a button, I will give you mine, just because you're mine. And you are beautifully and wonderfully made. I don't make mistakes and I wouldn't change a thing. I love you from the day I brought you home. I loved you since the day that you were sewn. Every stitch, every seam of you is just how I dreamed of you. And so I want the whole wide world to know I love you from your head down to your toes. I love you from your head down to your toes. My raggedy doll, whoa, whoa, whoa. My raggedy doll, whoa, whoa. Sticks and stones may knock me down, may snap my strings and make me frown. But if you ever find me upside sticks, and I wouldn't change a thing. I loved you from the day I brought you home. I loved you till the day that you were sewn. Every stitch, every seam of you is just how I dreamed of you. And so I want the whole wide world to know I love you from your head down to your toes. I love you from your head down to your toes. 'Cause sticks and stones may knock me down, they snap my strings and make me frown. But if you ever find me upside down, pick me up and turn me around. Yeah, sticks and stones may knock me down, they snap my strings and make me frown. But if you ever find me upside down, pick me up and turn me around.
Thank you for listening to this audio theatre presentation. Did you know that audio theatre is a listener-supported platform? That's right, because of the kindness of other people, you were able to listen to this story today. Will you help someone else hear it too? By donating at our website at www.manortheatrecompany.uk/audio theatre. Thank you and see you next time.